Welcome back to Dreamcatchers. With us today is Dainzarunzare Gordon Leclaire, or as he's told me earlier, it's actually T. Leclaire. Where did you get that name?
When I first started going to Dawson, I started going by my Ganyageha name more than I would before. And obviously it was like sort of the first class syndrome where they're going through the list of names and they get to mine and it's just sort of like, this kid, please stand up type of deal. So it was a lot of my photography friends who were just like, we can't pronounce your name. Like, we're really sorry. Do you have a nickname? And I was like, well, not with my Ganyageha name, no. So they did a whole list and T was at the first, so it was T after that.
So what made you pick your Mohawk name over your English name?
Well, my Mohawk name is, it's my first name on my birth certificate, but I always went by Gord because it was my mother's father's name, and she always preferred it more. But it was more when I came maybe like 15, 16, I just decided it didn't really feel like my name. So I started following my Ganyageha name.
Mm-hmm. What does Dainzarunzare mean?
From the last time I checked with my Ganyageha teacher, he said it's to sense the earthquake before it happens.
That's pretty intense.
From what he tells me, it's intense.
Yeah, that does sound very intense. So you went to Parsons, you got accepted, and then from there, bam, you got an awesome internship at Teen Vogue.
Yes.
How did you manage to grab that?
Well, at the school, they have several dozen seminars with a bunch of professionals throughout the semester, and I went to the Teen Vogue seminar where the editor-in-chief, Amy Astley, she was doing a talk on working in magazines, and she just released her first book, which was the Teen Vogue Handbook, and I sort of picked up a copy. And after her speech, I kind of just approached her, talked to her, saying I want to work in art within magazines. Do you have any internships? She said, yeah, of course. And her assistant then gave me all the information I needed. A couple emails later, a couple interviews later, I got the internship.
How did that feel?
It was surprising. I'm trying to remember now. I found out on the train coming back to Kahnawake through an email on my phone right before the Christmas break. So that was it kind of brightened up the trip a little bit more.
Of course, it must have.
Yeah.
So when did your internship start?
It was in January of 2010, and I was there till August, so I was there for 8 months. And it was great because I applied there first because it was a magazine I wasn't familiar with, but it turned out that the people there and the work they do is incredible, and it was great.
What kind of work did you do?
So I worked in the art department, so I was assisting the designers who designed the page layouts. They help choose photographers, they schedule photo shoots, they choose typefaces, fonts. They're sort of like they work alongside of the production team in really producing the magazine.
That's extremely detail-oriented. I couldn't imagine having to choose a font. Like, to me, it's just, what is it, Times New Roman, and off I go.
That's what's great about graphic design is, same with photography, you look at the world completely differently after learning the behind the scenes for everything. It's like, the first time I realized photography was different was, I think I was at a cafeteria in a mall, and I was looking at the photography of the food on the menus. And I was thinking there, like, wow, how many assistants were on that shoot? How long was the shoot? Like, is the food real? And it's like, there's this whole other world living inside the world you already live in. That just...
It's like they're manufacturing your reality for you.
Exactly. It's a proper word, I guess.
It's kind of like we're in the Matrix.
I guess.
So your next internship was at GQ.
GQ, yes. GQ, like I live and breathe GQ magazine. I want to work there in the future, but their art department actually doesn't take internships.
So how did you manage to get an internship?
I actually interned for their fashion department, which was the only it was the only department that takes interns, because GQ is, it's actually on the same floor as Teen Vogue, but they're a completely different ship. They have a much larger audience, so they're a lot more strict with their who they're going to choose to work there, who they're going to get.
So that was like a very coveted position to have received.
It was incredibly grateful to have, and it's one of those things where if you say, oh, I'm interning here, and you get sort of a nod like, oh, okay, here, like they bring you somewhere else.
Wow. So after GQ, Macy's?
Yes, Macy's came in because I was looking for summer employment, and Macy's was the only internship that paid by the hour. So I applied to that, and I was one of their 90 interns.
They had 90 interns?
90 interns.
What was your work?
I was the graphic designer for the fashion department, which it was awesome working there because I actually got to do work that was going to heavily contribute to the company, and people were actually going to see it, where instead of doing behind the scenes work, I actually had my name on things.
That's really cool. And then the last one was Esquire.
Esquire.
How did that come about?
I emailed the design assistant probably in July, and I said, hey, are you looking for interns? I'd really like to intern for your company. I'm a huge fan of Esquire, that spiel sort of open email. And he got back to me right away. He's like, yeah, come for an interview in August. And it was right after when I did the photo shoot for the magazine, the Newfoundland shoot. And it was a shoe-in. Did the interview, and at the end of the interview, they said I was good to go.
How long were you at Esquire for?
I was at Esquire from August of 2011 to December of 2011.
Okay, so that was very recently.
You
just finished.
Right before I came back to Kahnawake for Christmas, my last day was on that Monday, and I was on a train on Wednesday.
Wow. What is it like traveling back and forth between like New York and then coming back to Kahnawake?
It's I really enjoy the trip. I love the train personally, and I always take it to Plattsburgh because coming across the border on the train is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. But like to actually get back to Kahnawake after, the hustle and bustle of New York.
It's a nice breather, and it's great to have family and friends here who are just ready to hang out despite the fact I didn't see them in like 4 months or something like that. It's always good to come back and just remind myself of where I come from and who I am.
Yeah. Do people treat you differently when they hear about these awesome internships that you've done?
I don't think so.
No.
It's still everyone I know, so we're still all the same.
That's good.
In a bit.
So when you look back at KSS and Dawson, then you look at Parsons and you look at your internships, what do you think was your main drive? Because you've gone really far in the industry that you want to work in.
Mm-hmm.
Like out of anyone I know in Kahnawake,
Yeah.
What drove you to that point?
I think it was just knowing that I was able to do it and that anyone can do it. You just got to work, and it's a lot easier than people, I believe, think it is. You just got to work hard, and if you work hard, it pays off.
What instilled that value inside of you?
I think it was probably that's so cheesy. My parents, they just have a really strong work ethic, and they're very education focused. And after that, I've sort of always just been biting on the work.
So for you, you kind of took this attitude that your parents instilled in you,
Mm-hmm.
hard work, you got to do the best job that you possibly can. You applied it to school, and then you figured, oh, well, I can apply this to anything else in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you kind of open the door, you see how easy it is, and then you just keep applying. You just got to keep applying yourself.
So what's next for you? I mean, I know that you have the magazine
Mm-hmm.
in works. You hope to get that, what would you say, published, and you hope to get advertisers behind it. But is there anything else that you possibly would like to do?
I'm looking into getting my graduates, actually, in Masters of Business Administration for Design Management. And I'm looking at just sort of any sort of school within New York or the outside area. But I'd like to finish up my master's part-time, work a cool design job, and start playing music again.
Ooh, what kind of music?
God, I don't know.
When it happens, it happens.
When it happens, when I apply myself, it'll come.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
This is Daizaruzere Gordon Leclerc, or T. Leclerc, on Dreamcatchers. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks.